Without further ado, here we go.
Cool, man.
It will. John, Mike, congratulations. You've landed yourselves in the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Greek Kopis. Bladesmiths, you'll have 5 days at your home forges in which to complete this challenge. At the end of those 5 days, you'll return and present your kopises to our panel of expert judges. And after they've thoroughly tested the hell out of them, they'll declare one of you the Forged in Fire champion who leaves here with a check for $10,000. Good luck, Bladesmiths. We'll see you in 5 days.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Feels great to be back in my home forge. I'm excited to get started. I'm gonna do a wrap or a sandbag construction. My Damascus is on the outside. There's a solid layer of 15N20, and then down the center is one solid piece of 5160. It should be really pretty and tough.
I'm back at the home forge and getting ready to go. And this entire piece is going to be made out of Damascus with an integral guard and an integral pommel built into it. So, without further ado, here we go. If I, at the end of day, have a rough shape of a sword, I'll be really happy. It's 30 layers right now. I'm gonna cut it into sections, probably 3, to have a layer count of about 90. Okay, we got a long way to go.
Day 2, I have to make some fullering dies for this blade. This is the bottom section of a railroad track. I have to just round the top off to get the right shape that I want. Oh, pretty good. The fuller lines are really clean, symmetrical. It's exactly what I was hoping for.
So start of day 3. We're gonna work on the guard and the pommel. Got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be a lot of detailed work. It's gonna be slow. I feel like a dentist. And then I've got to quench the blade. Everything that I've done since I've picked up a hammer is coming down to this point. I hope that this works out. It's perfectly straight. I got a straight blade.
It's day 4. I'm excited. I think basically I just have to finish up my handle today. I'm gonna pin these 2 pieces of brass to either side of the blade to hold them in place while I silver solder. Gonna heat up the guard a little, let the heat travel up the blade and up towards that solder. I think this sword is gonna look awesome. The color combination with the brass and the dark handle scales, it's just all coming together. I'm really stoked. But I still have one more piece to meet parameters. I need to connect my pommel to the guard. This is gonna go through the horse's mouth and it's gonna bend in a V and come down here into the guard. I wanna make it look like reins coming from the horse's mouth. I like it. That's good.
This is the last day. I've got to put scales on. When your bandsaw breaks, you got to improvise. I have never put scales on a blade that's got an integral pommel and guard. I just may have made a really, really big mistake. My pin doesn't fit right. I drilled the wrong hole. I'm in a panic mode. So in day 5, I've got to make a new handle. It's coming along. Now I'm feeling pretty good. Making this kopis was a really, really tall order. I feel like I've done my best work that I've ever done as a bladesmith right now. It will cut.
All right, bladesmiths, to find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your Greek Kopis and deliver some killing blows on this ballistics dummy. John, you're up first. You ready?
Ready? I'm pretty nervous. There's no way to prepare yourself for this moment. I'm just gonna hope that my blade survives.
cool, man.
All right, John, let's talk about your kopis here. There is a little crack that goes around the edge on both sides. When I saw the tip, I thought it was going to be tip heavy. It's not. There's good recovery with this. It's a very powerful weapon, sir. It will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, it's time to have fun with your blade. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, Mike, let's talk about your Greek Kopis right here. It is heavier, but every shot that I go in there cuts. You have a sharp edge, but more importantly, sir, it will kill.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test. Now, to test the strength, durability, and overall construction of your Greek Kopises, I'll be attacking these two soldiers. John, you're up. Are you ready?
Ready?
All right, John, first off, that small crack we noticed has not opened up at all, which is great. Your blade took some minor deformation, a little bit of roll, but overall, it's a strong blade. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, you're up. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so Mike, your edge took a little bit of damage here. And then up here, it just sort of peeled a hair off your edge. But other than that, this blade is still sharp all the way down. It's got some heft to it, but your handle construction does make up for it. But most of all, it's a strong blade. Nicely done, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, to test the edge of your Greek Kopis, I will take your weapon and I will slice across these rugs. John, you're up first. You ready?
Ready?
All right, John, the edge here is sharp. On this last one, not so much, but as we can see on the other rugs, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, it's your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Mike, first up, the forward weight that you have on your blade here lends itself to do a beautiful vertical cut. But on a diagonal cut, because of the forward weight being there, it feels more like a chopper than a slasher. So it cut in, but it didn't slice in to control that. It's a sharp edge, and it will cut.
Thank you.
John, Mike, both of you made high-performance blades that did very well in our weapons tests. Our next Forged and Fire champion is John. Congratulations, you're the new Forged and Fire champion. Mike, I want you to know that the judges and I are proud as hell of what you've turned in, man. It was a competitive blade, and it really did come down to the finest details. But I have to ask you to please surrender your Kopis.
That really makes me feel good that the judging was so close. This competition was really tough for me. It tested a lot of new skills that I hadn't done before. It was a big win for myself. It was a great competition and a great experience, and I'd do it all over again.
John, congratulations. You're our new Forged and Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Please present your blade to the judges.
I'm unbelievably happy. I'm a new bladesmith, and it's something that I want to do in the future, to walk into this world of bladesmithing and then join Forged in Fire and compete and win it. It doesn't get any better than that.
Wayne, Mark, congratulations. You fellas have made it into the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. And that weapon is...
Show me a falchion.
a falchion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
We made it back. Welcome to Pirate Forge. Now, I've done my research, and back in the day, the armor was getting tougher, you know, thicker leather, the introduction of chainmail and whatnot. So they needed something that was going to cut and chop with the strength of an axe, but still be wielded like a sword. And that's when the falchion was born. My plan for the design on this, I'm going to go with the Damascus pattern. What I'm wanting to do is make 2 solid billets that we draw out, cut and restack to make the 1 billet for the falchion. This is really taking a lot of time, and this is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. Hammering out and setting forge welds on such monster billets, I've definitely forgot, you know, how difficult that was. I mean, if I would have used a mono steel billet, I could have already had this falchion forged.
We're here back in my home forge in South Burlington, Vermont. Boom. I think that 4 days is tight.
Man, 3/8 inches, no joke.
The falchion has this swell that really gives a lot of forward weight and makes it great for chopping. So I have to figure out where I want to put in this swell and how to hammer it out. So thin. I finally get this swell drawn out, and it is just way too thin, and I'm not even close to 3 inches, so I'm pretty nervous about the structural stability of what I'm making. Ugh. So I am just gonna start on a second swell.
I'm giving up on this flare because it's just too thin, and I still have enough metal back here to make it work.
What I realized is that the first time I wanted to move the metal completely horizontally from spine to edge, and the way that I was doing it was moving some of the metal lengthwise and enough of the metal lengthwise that it just got too thin. I put into practice what I learned making the first swell. It's already going a lot better, a lot faster, and getting a lot wider without getting as thin as it did the first time.
That's it for day 1.
It's day 2. Best case scenario, we get the sucker drawn out, we get it quenched, it comes out looking great. Never quenched a blade this big. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're about to make this thing change into a real sword. This is a special, momentous occasion. I was so inspired by this blade. I was like, there should be a falchion song. It was born of blood and war, half axe and half sword. You will surely lop off your head. I just made me a falchion. Yes, a blade has been born. That blade came out super straight as an arrow. Fantastic. Looks like those candles and all the stuff we did sure enough worked.
The morning of day 2, and I'm gonna start on my crossguard. I only have 1 piece of brass that I can try this with, so I'm hoping to get it right on the first try. The fittings are a huge part of this, and getting all of that to just really fit tightly, snugly, be comfortable in the hand is gonna be hopefully where I'm able to win this competition. Should be good enough.
Let's do this! I'm feeling good about the blade going to the last day. My only concern is just getting the weight where it needs to be. It's a little bit heavy. I went ahead and decided we're going for fullers. I don't have a whole lot of time left. I'm gonna have to be very strategic in everything I do today. I feel so accomplished. You know, for 4 days, pulling off a blade this big, with the Damascus pattern, with the fit and finish that I got on it, I couldn't be any happier.
The dawn of the final day, I was able to get the blade quenched and tempered. Perfect. Now it's time to grind, shape, and glue. This has been a bunch of firsts for me. First on length, first on a guard, first on a pommel. It's just nonstop firsts. I know that there are some steps that I rushed, but for a 4-day build, pretty happy with this.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do according to its historic design, I will try to cut this big carcass in half. Wayne, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
One and done.
Well now.
All right, Wayne, your falchion is beautiful. It is sharp. It cut through the spine and all the way through the pig. It's a little bit heavier for a one-handed weapon, but it is well balanced. Overall, sir, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Mark, your turn, sir. Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot.
All right, Mark, let's talk about your falchion here. It's a nice, lighter blade. Your edges are sharp enough to cut through spine, but the problem I have here is your guard. Your edges here are not rounded. They dig in right here where the thumb is. But your blade, sir, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be attacking our armored dummy here. This test is not about what your swords do to that armor. It's about what that armor does to your swords. Wayne, you're up. You ready?
Let's do it.
First off, Wayne, your edge has taken some small chips, some small rolls, but it's very, very minor damage. There's still a sharp edge here. All in all, it held up beautifully.
All right, thank you.
So, Mark, I gotta ask, what's with the shirt?
I got married in this shirt, actually. It's, you know, it's my formal wear.
All right. Well, you ready for the test?
I am.
Okay.
Not bad.
All right, so first off, the blade is still solid. You did get some minor rolling, but the blade still has an edge. Down here's the problem. Your guard, these edges are not just square, they're sharp. But the blade held up. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, now it's time to find out if there's any sharpness left to your weapons. To test the edge of your weapon, I'm gonna cut through this gauntlet of sandbags. Wayne, you're up first. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Wayne, your weapon is sharp. On every swing, it cuts and slashes nicely. And most importantly, aside from being smurfed, it will cut.
Awesome.
All right, Mark, it's your turn. You ready?
I am.
Let's have fun. All right, Mark, and as you can see on both of these bags, it cut deeply. On the second bag, on the swing back over there, it must have hit a dull spot. It did rip parts of the bag, but it didn't cut all the way in. But overall, it is sharp, and it will cut.
Thank you.
Wayne, Mark, it was a tight decision. Wayne, congratulations. You're the Forged in Fire champion. Mark, unfortunately, your blade didn't make the cut.
And Mark, you made a good blade, there's no doubt about that. But the big problem is namely your guard. Not rounding off those sections, those sharp corners will bite into the user's hand. And if a weapon's gonna hurt a user, they're not gonna use it.
Please surrender your weapon and leave the forge.
From start to finish, this whole thing was a learning process for me, and I honestly think I have gotten years worth of experience and feedback in just a short time. Great job, man.
Yeah, you too.
This experience was life-changing.
Wayne, Congratulations, you are one badass, everlasting bladesmith and our new Forged in Fire champion. Good job, brother.
Yeah! Yes! Yeah!
Please, at this time, present your blade to our judges.
So I did it! Man, I wanted it! Next for me, I'm gonna get back on the same thing that's led me to this point, which is just non-stop, going full throttle. I'm just gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep getting better and better.
All right, bladesmiths, congratulations. The two of you have made it through the first 2 rounds of our layer race competition, which means you're going into the final round. Now, we are giving you 4 days of your home forges to battle it out for the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for $10,000. We want you to build this. The Mesopotamian sickle sword.
The sickle sword originated in Mesopotamia at the height of the Bronze Age, around 2500 BC. These sickle and curved-shaped swords often symbolized royalty and power, and were primarily wielded during ceremonies by kings and authority figures. Although these swords were not common on the battlefield, the belly of the blade allowed for quick, devastating blows and inspired designs for later weapons, such as the deadly Egyptian kopis.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Go.
My name is Robert Taylor. I'm from Brentwood, California. I'm a sergeant with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. I took up bladesmithing because I liked watching Forged in Fire. It's something I really wanted to go further in, become an ABS smith, maybe a master smith someday, because I love forging. So I'm gonna go 500 layers of Damascus on each side with a 1084 center core. All right, we're going for our final forge weld. As long as I'm solid with my steel, 1084 will give it more stronger center. The place where I want it to bend will bend down, and then the tip will start bending up automatically as I hit it. I'm whacking it on the horn to get it to bend down. It's easier than using the hammer. I like it. Got the build all ready for the quench. If this quench doesn't go right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and start over, and that's gonna suck. Went in pretty hot. We'll see if we have any bad forge welds. We have a hard blade. I want to keep it light enough and balanced enough for somebody to swing it. Getting there. Feel really good about my weapon. Getting all the fit up done. I think this thing's gonna slice anything they put before it.
My name is Jacob Gates. I am 20 years old and I'm from Royalton, Minnesota. Martial arts has always been my first love and first hobby, and then I got into bladesmithing. They both kind of crisscross because when you're making a knife, it's just got to be real patient with it. Wax on, wax off. I'm going to put a ladder pattern in this steel. Kind of can see the ladder pattern in there already. The length and curve of this blade is going to be difficult to work with just because I want to make sure everything stays straight and doesn't have any warps to it. Looking good so far, because ultimately that could send me home if that's not spot on. We're getting ready to quench here. I feel pretty good about my progress. Everything looks good. That's good temperature. Oh, that is straight. Everything's looking good. Now we're gonna have to temper it. That's gonna take away a little of this hardness and it's gonna add toughness. Because right now it's pretty brittle. If I just went and smacked it on my anvil, it would probably shatter. I think the hardest part is gonna be getting the heat just right. I don't have an oven long enough to fit this sword in, so we're gonna have to do it all with a torch. It's not going to be as precise as having an oven. Don't want to overheat it. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't know the ultimate outcome, but hopefully we get it just right. I want to make sure everything is even on this handle and everything feels good. As a martial artist, I'm really into flow and I'm really into feel. Feels good. I'm not quite sure what my strength test is going to be, but I think whatever they throw at it, it's going to be able to handle it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. So to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do, I'm going to take your weapons and deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Jacob, you're up first. Ready?
Cut the head off.
Let's do that. All right, Jacob, let's talk about your sickle sword right here. Your edge is razor sharp. Coupled with the fact that this is a very light weapon, I can use velocity to really wield that sharp edge. It cuts deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, your weapon, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, Robert, let's talk about your sickle sword. It's a very light blade, that much lighter than the other one. And the angle that you have in here lends itself to use not only velocity, but the sharpness of your edge to cut very deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, it will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the Armored Warrior Chop. Test the strength and overall durability of your Mesopotamian sickle swords. I'm going to be chopping into these armored warriors. Jacob, you're up first. You ready for this?
I don't think I get a choice.
You don't have a choice. What actually happened is your sword bit into the other sword by about 3/16 of an inch, and it took out this chip. And once that chip was gone, the whole sword blew up. Your grain looks good, but unfortunately, it's just this sword against that sword. This time, that sword won.
Yep.
All right, Jacob, we hate to see this happen. You gave us a beautiful blade, but unfortunately, it did suffer a catastrophic failure on the 7th strike. But you are not out of the fight yet, because Robert, in order to become the champion, you will have to survive every single one of those 7 strikes on the Armored Warrior. Are you ready?
Let's roll the dice.
All right, Ben.
Good job.
Well, Robert, the big thing is, it's one sword. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, you made it through all the testing. Jacob, it's a beautiful piece of work. Unfortunately, due to your catastrophic failure, we cannot continue testing, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
You know, it totally sucks, but I really am proud of the blade I made either way. You know, they said pretty much nothing but good things about it up until it broke. And well, I'd totally come back for this and maybe get a shot at making it all the way through.
Well, Robert, we never like to see competitors' blades break, but yours did not, and that makes you the newest Forge and Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Feel pretty good?
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Winning this championship, I think, has really pushed me to my limits, and then that makes me want to push them even more. Now I'm a champion, I'm going to go ahead and get my ABS Smith membership and just really refine my skills.
Jimmy, Chris, congratulations, guys. You made it through the first 2 rounds of our 200th Forge and Fire competition. Now, in this final round, we're sending you both back to your home forges to build an iconic weapon from the Forge and Fire vault. Just like the rest of this competition, we asked the fans what they wanted you to build. Now, they had the choice between the Spadroon, the Darb Sri Gun Chai, and the Hunga Munga. Well, gentlemen, with 45% of the vote, fans have spoken. The 2 of you guys are going back to your home forges to build the Darb Sri Gun Chai.
Featured in Season 7 of Fortune Fire, the Darb Sri Gun Chai is a double-handed sword originally from 18th century Thailand. This 5-foot-long single-edged blade was designed to destroy enemies with deadly blows and slashes. The signature flames and valleys of the spine proved a difficult challenge for previous competitors. However, one smith's decision to put slippery rabbit fur on the handle grip ultimately cost him the competition.
Bladesmith, good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Good luck, man.
Good luck.
You got it. My name is Chris Moss. I'm 34 years old, and I am a full-time knife maker. When I started making knives, people thought I was a freak. This competition made knife making cool. Keeping with the 200th episode, I want to put 200 layers of Damascus in my blade. So I forged them to the same size, clean up the edges, weld them together, and now I have 200 layers. Forging is done. Get this started. The quenching is always nerve-wracking. You could literally snap your blade in half. All right, here goes something. Definitely a little bit of a nail biter. Now we're good. That is a huge relief. Looks good. Got to get this thing put together. Guard fits on. All of my components for the handle are done and ready to be assembled. Now I get to the point that I've been dreading. I've got to put these flames in. We used a finer marker for this. Let's make it flaming. Single slip of the grinder and I could fail parameters. We should be good. Man, I'm so glad to be done with these flames. This weapon is massive. It's fitting for the 200th episode. I'm ready to see what it can do.
My name's Jimmy Coronado, 38 years old. I'm a full-time groundskeeper and a part-time bladesmith. It feels great to be part of the 200th episode. I'm here to have some fun, make some blades, and hopefully take home some money.
I have my billets all welded up that I can get a nice twist going in each of my billets. And now I'm going to take the billets and weld them together and forge my blade out of that. I'm attempting a canister pommel, and I forged out the numbers 2, 0, and 0, and I put them inside the canister, hoping that when I forge it all out, I should get a nice 200 visible there inside the pommel. But while grinding, I found a very slight warp. I need to get this warp out of my blade, but if something goes wrong here, I don't know what I'll do. It's the last day, and I could be out of this competition. End result, blade came out straight, and it worked like a charm. I did it. It's done. Now, I cannot wait to see this thing be destroyed or destroy something.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our 200th kill test. In honor of our 200th competition, we're bringing back 2 of our favorite ballistic dummies. The lovely Medusa in her snake headband, and our bluer than blue dummy of the North. Jimmy, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Right, let's do this. All right, Jimmy, let's talk about your Darb Sri Gun Chai here. First up, the handle construction. You have it ovoid enough to where when I wrap my hand around it, it's a good grip, and it's a very light weapon. Now, your blade had a little bit of a warp, but it is sharp. And overall, sir, you will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris, it's your turn. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, Chris, first up, it cuts deep because it's a wieldable weapon. The edge is very sharp, no marks whatsoever. And overall, sir, your weapon, it will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, gentlemen, 200 competitions, that's almost 400 smiths. that have had their blades go through our strength test. Today we're going to turn it up with a fan favorite, the skull chopper, but not just one skull, 6 skulls. Jimmy, you're up first. You ready?
Have fun, Dave.
Okay. All right, Jimmy. Your blade took some small rolls here, but the blade is in the same shape it started out with. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris, you're up. Ready?
Give it all she got.
All right, Chris, blade held up, still in one piece, still solid. Well done.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the sharpness test, the multiple target slice. Jimmy, you're up first. Ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Jimmy, there is one dull spot here, which I think might have got caught up on the second to last of the ballistics tubes, but all of the rest of the cuts are super sharp, so nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, you're up next. You ready?
Give it all she got.
All right. All right, Chris, well, as you can see, great cuts on all of the media up there. In all, this thing is one hell of a cutter. Nice job.
Thank you.
Guys, this has been exciting. Our fans have put you through a very difficult challenge, but you guys came with your A games ready and gave us beautiful blades. But the time has come to decide which one of you is taking home the 200th Forged in Fire champion title and that check for $10,000. The winner of the 200th Forged in Fire competition is Chris. Congratulations. Now, Jimmy, you rocked it the entire way, but unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forged floor.
Congratulations, man. I'm disappointed, but I gave it all I could, and Chris's blade just performed a little bit better.
Chris, congratulations. You are the 200th Forged in Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. All of these obstacles that the fans have put in our way, and they consistently picked something that would be awesome and really hard. It's what I would want to see. I just won the 200th competition of Forged in Fire.